Well, hello everybody, and as always, the first question to you is, can you hear me? Just give me some sign that you can hear me. I will just start your chats. Yeah, please raise your hands. I will start your chats, please. Um, and if you can hear me, please give me some sign. Can you hear me? Okay, very good. Good. So, um, it's good evening. Good evening to everybody. So, it's so nice to have you here today. So, how are you doing? Just say something. If you want to to start your microphone, you know that it's possible. Great, yeah, I see that you're doing great. Good. I'm fine, thank you. Fine, fine, good. Yeah, doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you. So, today you know that it's kind of the end of the school term, school year. So probably a good idea will be to ask you about, maybe you have any questions, because you know that we might simply talk today. We might talk about some people might have still this state Russian exam tomorrow, or I'm not sure when it's going to be. So if you have any questions, please feel free and ask me questions. Anastasia, can we talk about IELTS? Okay. Um, Anybody else? So of course, you know that. What do you mean by YGE? Just try to make your questions a little bit more specific. Okay? Because the first question was about the IELTS, which is we should talk about this exam. Okay, so the first question was about IELTS, International English Language Testing System. So lots of parts of this exam were used when it was when was the difference between state Russian exam and IELTS. Lots of differences, but lots of commonalities also. What is different? Of course, IELTS is more difficult than the state Russian exam, but at the same time, it has very many commonalities. So what I mean here, like for example, you have the essay, which is almost the same in the IELTS, the same as in the state Russian exam. And you know that you have grades in IELTS, and IELTS has two types, like general type and academic type. General type is when you want to use your English for finding a job and working in the English surrounding. And the academic type is when you want to study somewhere in abroad, overseas, in the university or college, where you will have to listen lectures in English. So, Anastasia, your question, we should talk about state Russian exam. Okay, again, will you please be more specific? What do you want to know about this exam? Because as you remember, we talked about that a lot during the year, and I'm not very sure what I have to repeat, so that is why, please think a little bit. Okay, and if you don't mind, we'll move on with our grammar questions, because you know that my grammar questions are these questions work for any kind of exam. It doesn't matter which type of exam you're going to take. It might be TOEFL test, or Bulet's test, or IELTS test, or ЕГЭ, or state Russian exam test, and any other type of tests. My grammar questions were developed and designed specifically for preparation for these exams. Okay, so Anastasia, any specific questions? You can ask them. Grammar and lexis. Lexis, we say vocabulary. Lexis is a little bit difficult word. Vocabulary. Okay. So, talking about grammar, last sentence which we did the previous class was sentence 58, and it was what would you do if you won 100 pounds? And if you remember, it was conditional 3, and we also have already passed. What can you talk about? Yeah. Again, we can talk about TOEFL test again from the point of view grammar, because grammar is what I developed here. The course which I developed here for your grammar knowledge is absolutely necessary for all types of exams. So we talked about the mixed conditionals, which were, if we hadn't broken 2 hours ago, it's sentence 58, we would be in Paris now. And if we had good doctors now, she shouldn't have died then. So those were the grammar conditionals 2 and 3, and mix 1 and mix 2. Okay, let's talk about sentence 59, and the word which is used here, I don't think that this is a difficult word for you, but this is what I took from the British textbook, and it will be like that. Okay, so please try and give your versions for sentence 59. All right. Okay, I think that we should thank Vicar. Yeah, that's very correct. I think that we should thank Vicar. Yeah. So, what's the name of the grammar rule here? I think that we should thank Vicar. Yeah. What's the grammar rule here? What do you think? The only thing is that you should use the definite article, the Vicar. Do not forget about the articles. So what kind of a grammar rule do we use here? So, clauses, what kind of clauses? Well, probably, I think that it will be easier for you if you first of all remember that this is about should, and should is what? Modals, yeah, absolutely, that's modals. And when do we use should? In what case do we use should? Okay. Guessing? Oh, anything else? So I just recommendation. as advice, yes. Here it's a little bit different. Here it's called supposition or assumption. Supposition or assumption. Anastasia, what you wrote in English. So advice, supposition, assumption. Very good. And here what you have is obligation. Okay. So that's obligatory or mandatory to do that. And the meaning is that we have to thank the vicar. Alright, do not forget about this usage of should for obligation when we talk about obligation. Very good. Now sentence 60. And this is more difficult. Please. Sentence number 60. So what's the problem? Why are you lingering? Lingering, that means that you are not able to answer promptly. What's the problem? Number 60. Okay, that's a good question. That is why I'm just well, let's talk a little bit then. Yeah, that's more close. What Sheldon wrote is closer. Yes, right. And I'm thinking, how can you just add okay, just wait a second. I'm looking for a clean page, and as always, let's try and talk a little bit. So yeah, let's take your versions, a couple of your versions, and discuss whether they are correct or not. So yes, I will just copy and paste several of your examples. That doesn't matter. I'm not, you know, right now I'm not talking about your spelling, but of course you know that in every exam you will be penalized for your spelling, of course, but now I don't think that we need to talk about that. Okay, so you know that what we have here is the grammar which we have here is also about the modal verbs. So that's modals again. However, you know that this grammar what do you mean? Just wait a second. I'm not talking again. You see, you made mistakes with the spelling. You did mistakes with the prepositions. I'm not about that now. First of all, let's talk about the main idea of the sentence. So the main idea is we talk about modals. But as you remember, what can we use? We use after modals. I mean, excuse me, what form of the verb? Infinitive, exactly. Exactly, infinitive. And some of you are giving the correct answer, perfect infinitive. Infinitive without to, well, that's, you know, sometimes it's possible to use the infinitive with to, but we'll talk about that later. So like you say, perfect infinitive, okay, and then I have a question to you. Can you think of other types of infinitives and of course examples? Other types of infinitives. You mentioned first of all it's just infinitive. I can add here that this should be called something like, you can call it indefinite infinitive, indefinite infinitive, or simple infinitive, whatever you call it. What other types of infinitives do you know? Okay, let me help you here. Like for example, if you take a sentence, something like that. Passive infinitive, it's a little bit too difficult right now. So what would you suggest here? What kind of infinitive would you use in this sentence? Children must be playing. So if you use be playing, might be playing, you see, since morning, yeah. So, but you see, if you use since morning, then the tense, which tense should be used here? Since morning. Perfect, exactly. Perfect, and perfect continuous. So you should use here perfect continuous infinitive, and pay attention to the spelling of the word continuous. Continuous, continuous. Okay, so how would you say that with the perfect continuous infinitive? Please. Yeah, sure, of course. It will be children must have been playing in the garden since morning. Very good. Okay, so here you have a perfect continuous infinitive. If you think, for example, about the aliens, you know aliens, right? You can say that how can you say that in English? It's about aliens. You know aliens, right? Here you will also use some kind of infinitive, but what kind of infinitive? It's aliens. So what do you think? Yeah, they well, if you use maybe, maybe is more Russian grammar. You can say so, but that sounds more Russian, because maybe is an introductory word which is mostly used in Russian. In English, they more than that, they use modals. They use modals more in English. So they must be flying, or why don't you use they may only separately? They may be flying right now to us, or whatever. So what kind of infinitive do we have here? Now that they are flying to us, this is not the meaning of возможно. No, perhaps is introductory word. This is, you can use, but the meaning will be slightly different, because we are learning the second level of English grammar, which is intermediate grammar, and perhaps and maybe, probably, all of these introductory words you use in the first level, and this is mostly typical for Russian grammar. For English grammar, they mostly use modals, like they may be flying, or if you don't like maybe, you can use they might be flying, or they can be flying now, or whatever. That doesn't matter, but here you use the infinitive. What kind of infinitive do you use here? As you can see, this is be flying. What's the name of this infinitive? We talked about the indefinite infinitive, the perfect infinitive, the perfect continuous infinitive, and right now, they might be flying right now is what kind of infinitive? No, it's not passive. Passive is when you use something like was plus third form of the verb. It's like, for example, was discovered. America was discovered by Christopher Columbus. So this is continuous infinitive. Yeah, very good. This is called continuous, or even you can say present continuous. Present continuous infinitive. So now you know that infinitive, present continuous infinitive. Now you know that in the English language you can use lots of different types of infinitives, and I want you to pay attention to the sentences like that. Children must have been playing in the garden since morning, or they might be flying right now. And now let's go back to your sentences which you used. Okay, let's go to the next page. And let's think of those infinitives which you used here. Again, if you remember, the sentence which we wanted to translate was just wait a second. Yeah, my computer is so slow, I have to wait for a long time. Okay, even to copy and paste, because you know right now I'm using several programs, several software, and that is why my computer is slow. Sorry about that, but we'll manage. Okay, so the sentence here is like that. Yeah, thank you so much. Now, what kind of infinitive should you use here? First of all, you can see that, like you said, should is okay. You should use should. But after should, like you said, you want to say something which is in Russian is. And how can you do in the English language? Like if you say, for example, just see this difference. If you say, for example, you should wear, then it will be, of course, now. You should wear the seat belt. And if you want, that means that you use the where is the indefinite infinitive. Where here is indefinite infinitive. But if you want to say something after should, which is like past, not now, but past, then you should use, so that means that not now, but in the past. Then you should use, as you understood, you should use perfect infinitive without to. Perfect infinitive. Okay? So, yes, but, you see, this is Lily, this is not the infinitive, what you wrote. Infinitive is, if you remember, the perfect infinitive, it should be have plus third form of the verb. And what you used here is not the third form. Yeah, that's not a problem. I understand that this is not that easy. So, should have worn, yeah. But, you see, if we want to stress that that was the process, that the person was riding in a car, and that means that it was the process and it was continuous. I mean, the tense was continuous. So I want you to use the past continuous infinitive. Past continuous infinitive. Please try and use here past continuous. You should have, exactly, you should have been wearing the seat belt. Very good. So you see, that's the sentence I was looking for. Very good. Now I just want you to kind of see this this English usage. You should have been wearing the seat belt. Okay, very good. Now let's move back to excuse me. Let's move back to these sentences. The next sentence is just to review the revision 61. How can you use it's not about the infinitives, it's about, as you can see, a different grammar rule, so please try. Okay, I have been working here since 1987. Very good. I have been working here since 1987. Very good. So, what is the name of the grammar rule? And you see, I would, next time I will ask Ekaterina, Sheldon, then other, Kirill, other participants, I will ask you also. Please try and take part also, join us, join our discussion. So what's the name of the grammar rule here? Present perfect continuous. Yeah, you see, you can use present perfect, but it's better to connect. What's the meaning of present perfect continuous? That means that the person is still working now. And if you use only present perfect, that's possibly that he's going to stop working here. Like, for example, you can say that this great soccer player, like, you know, Beckham, he has been playing for this California team. If he still, started at the time and still continues now, like talking about Beckham, that if you want to say that he has been playing for this California team, soccer team, but now, as you might have heard, so you see I'm using this perfect infinitive, as you might have heard, probably he decided to leave this team, and that is why you can use that he has played for this soccer team in Hollywood or in California, whatever. Okay, next, very good. Next sentence, please, 62. Sentence 62, please. It's forbidden to obstruct the street. Okay, yeah, you know that it's something like, well, first of all, you see, what's interesting in level 2, in the grammar level 2, is that do not block the street. Lily, we are talking about the second level of grammar. The street must be left free. Well, it's, again, what I want you to understand that this is intermediate grammar, and most of the sentences which you give are from level 1. And I want you to see this difference. So, first of all, every time when you think of the sentences which I give, please think of the grammar rules which I have in mind and which I want you to use here. So, what's the rule? What's the rule here? What do you think? What's the grammar rule I have in mind here? Okay? Request. Anybody else? Alright, so you see that a law or a rule, okay, obligation. Well, you know that lots of cases which we learn in level 2 is about idioms. Maybe you know idioms, and what idioms I'm looking after right now is no, idioms I'm looking after are like you are not allowed, like you also used you ought not to, you also used it's forbidden, very good, it's forbidden, that's good. Then another thing is, but it's not about that, I'm just trying to show you the pattern which I am looking after. You are obliged, or you are expected, and so on. So these are the idioms which I'm looking for, and here the best way to say here is you are not. I knew that it is you are not allowed. No, it's a little bit different vocabulary. Like you said, we need to know lots of vocabulary. Yes, that's correct, and that is why I want to make your vocabulary more rich. So here you will use you are not supposed to, and then some of you use the very easy word to block the street. Very good. You are not supposed to block the street. So please take a minute and have a look. Pay a little bit of more attention to these idioms. You are not allowed, you are forbidden, you are obliged, you are expected, you are not supposed, it was intended, another idiom, it was intended, and so on. It's supposed to, it's not a modal. If you want to be 100% sure of the grammar rule, you can see that this is a specific usage of the passives. Can you see that? That's a very specific usage of the passage. You are expected, you are not expected, was intended, not intended, and so on. Can you see that this is passive? Okay. But, yeah, alright. Let's move on and let's take some other sentences. We'll take a little bit more, just wait a second, where were we? Yeah, it's like, yeah, here we go. So further, if you have any questions anytime, just feel free to ask me questions. And if you want to turn on the microphone, please do. So you see, that's the last part of level 2 sentences, and after that it will be very interesting to have a kind of a test for you. I'm not sure whether you would like it or not, but for me it will be very interesting. Just first of all, you will have to review. Do not forget that all of my classes are being recorded, are being video recorded. That means that they are on YouTube. You just find my last name and like, my name is Vladimir, you remember, and the last name is Alexandrov. So if you go on YouTube with Vladimir Alexandrov and Advanced English, you will find all of these classes. If you want to, I think that today you will have, on this topic, the topic about the second level grammar, it will be the 5th lesson about the second level grammar. Okay, now let's go on, let's move, and sentence 63 is the revision for the previous pattern, for the previous structure. So please, yeah, oh, that's too much. That's too much, and that was why I was trying any other versions. So you remember that I can ask each of you. It is supposed that I have to repeat. It is meant, it was meant, yeah, that I should be repeating the material. Yeah. Well, you know why I chose this structure? Because you forgot. It was meant. Meant should be like that. It's wrong spelling. It was meant. Yeah, it was meant. Yeah. So if you want to be very correct, here you will use not the it is called impersonal structure. What's the meaning of impersonal structure? Impersonal, it is supposed. But I want you, like you see, it is supposed, it's without any person, without mentioning anybody, like, but I want you to change this structure so that you will use I. Yeah, exactly, but I don't want you to do it like that. I want you to make it personal. Make the pronoun I, make it the subject of the sentence. I'm supposed, of course, very good, great. I'm supposed to be revising. I'm supposed to be revising. Very good. I'm supposed to be revising. Very good. Do not forget about that anytime you can change the structures which we use, like you're not supposed, you can say am I supposed, you're not expected, am I expected, you're not obliged, am I obliged, and you know that I am to repeat, that's a little bit different. If to be to, this what you wrote is the structure is to be to, and we use to be to usually when we have the specific arrangement, like for example with your boss, you decided to make a meeting, and this is a very official meeting. And you will usually say, like, I am to be, I am to take part in this meeting because that was arranged together with your boss. Okay, let's take 64. That's much easier, but do not never forget to use the name of the grammar rule. So, what do you think? Yeah, very good. The only thing is that usually you forget about articles, and articles is a very important thing. No, Christina, it's the meaning. Alternative. This is Soviet grammar, we call it, because as you know, you will not find in real British or American grammar books, you will never find the word alternative question. How do we call this grammar in the English language? Who remembers? This last part of the sentence, like you wrote it, tag, yeah, tag question. And what is a tag in Russian? What is a tag? Tag. The synonym to the word tag is very easy. It's label. What is label? Yes, very good. Yeah. I should change my grammar book. What? Which grammar? Yeah, of course. Nowadays you have so many authentic, we call them authentic grammar and American and British grammar books. That is why please try and use them. So that is called tag question. And again about the articles. I was trying to say a couple of words about the articles. So you say like 49 bus. Well, you see, first of all, if you do not use the, then it can be taken like you will have to count first bus, second bus, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and you will count till you will until you will have this 49th bus coming. So do not forget, the 49th bus will give you the number. But if you remember, your teacher during every class tells you, open your books at page, let's be 49. Now you see that in this case you will not use the article when first goes the noun and then the numeral. If you use 49th bus, then you have to use the 49th bus. If you want to use bus and then you say 49, then you can use without the article. Like your teacher tells you, open your books at page 49. Probably you remember. And then, like you said, this is the tag question. So it will be the 49th bus goes there. And then you have this tag, doesn't it? Very good. The 49th bus goes there, doesn't it? Okay, 65. And again, this is the revision which we did already. Please. Again, what grammar rule? Yeah, if clause, if you park your car with the counter or maybe meter, you wouldn't receive. But you see, as you can understand, you didn't attend my lessons before, but I explained it. As you can see, this is in Russian. I can say it like what you did. You did, let's say in Russian, you did. But here you need in English it's two different tenses. And Sheldon, what you wrote is yeah, if you had parked, you wouldn't have received a fine. Very good, Ekaterina. Yeah, it's in English it is called unreal. Excuse me, I have to switch my keyboard. So in English it is called unreal past and unreal present. Okay, so the sentence should be in unreal past, should be like that. If you had parked on a meter, you wouldn't have got a ticket. Well, it's enough if excuse me, if just let's say if you, and we can make it shorter, if you'd parked, because they do it all the time, on a meter. And do not forget that I have the correct versions from the British textbook. So you wouldn't have got a ticket. And a ticket, that's understandable, that this is the police officer's fine. Okay, very good. And it is called in English unreal past. Unreal past. Okay, or conditional 3. Okay, very good. 66. Again, this is the revision. All right. Yeah, very good. Well, again, what's the grammar rule here? Please. It's not second conditional, it's, yeah, conditional 1. Very good, conditional 1. Yeah, conditional present, whatever you call it, conditional, excuse me, conditional 1. So, and I also want you to use unless because I want to make your vocabulary richer, unless you go now, or unless you leave now, and then you'll miss the train. Unless you go now, you'll miss the train. Okay, then next 67. I used to eat, absolutely. So here the grammar is I used to eat a lot of red meat, and that's it. I used to eat a lot of, not much. Much we use in negative sentences, and in positive sentences we use I used to eat a lot of red meat. Excuse me. And then 68. How about now? If you remember, you cannot use this structure for the present. But you see that here is the catch. I am used to, and here to is not the particle from the infinitive. No, it's the it's the preposition. This is, excuse me. So if you have the preposition, but not the particle from the infinitive, then what do we use after prepositions? Yes, I'm used to eating salads. Absolutely. Do not forget about that. And also, I am used to eating salads. Very good. And do not forget that the first structure from 67, I used to eat a lot of red meat, you cannot use in present. But this structure, I'm used to eating salads, you can use in any tense you want. I am used to eating salads, I was used to eating salads, I have been used, and so on. Okay, 69. That's easy. He advised me to leave. He advised me to leave. It's better. He advised me to leave. Very good. So here you have the beginning of the third level. As you remember, I also wanted to start teaching the course with the third level, and I will begin the third level with the infinitive and the ing forms. If you remember, it's a very difficult topic, grammar topic. The difference is when we use the infinitive or when we use the ing form. For example, I like cooking, or I like to cook. If you remember, there are lots of differences in the meaning of this usage. Okay, but that we'll talk about that later. 70. That's the sentence which you should use almost every day with your American or British friends. She introduced her husband to me. Yeah, but not acquainted is a little bit different usage. If you want to know, you have this special dictionary. If you want to have it, I can share it with you. It's called Oxford Collocations Dictionary. There you can find everything about the usage. Yeah, she introduced me to her husband. I think that will be the best way to say here. She introduced me to her husband. Okay, then also do not forget that you can use the British national corpus. You can use American national corpus, you can use Russian national corpus when you want to know grammar for sure, for sure. A corpus, that's the real usage of the language in nowadays. It's in just recently. So it's how the language is used in the magazines, in the newspapers, with real examples. Okay, 71. Okay, I'll call you when I get back home. Okay, so what's the name of the grammar? I'll call you, please, when I get home. What's the name of the grammar? I'll call you when I get home. Please. Conditional one, very good. 72 and 73 are the same. Okay, probably you will not see it. I will just wait a second. I will take another page because I know that probably you will not see it. Alright, so 72 and 73 are the same rule examples, the same grammar rule. Okay, and what is the name of this rule? This is the village where I stayed. Very good. I can just copy and paste it, but I want you to mention to name the grammar rule. This is the village where I stayed, and 73. Come on, we have some 3 minutes more to go. Let's finish. Wow, what is going on? Why? So you see, if you don't do it now, then we will leave it till the next class. This is the baker who gave me the fresh bread. Very good. So, Ekaterina, what is the name? Absolutely, that's correct. What is the name of the rule? Probably you... I don't... Yeah, that's very interesting. Okay, so this is called defining and non-defining relative clauses. In Russian you name them придаточные, уточняющие и неуточняющие. And they are very specific in English, but we'll talk about them later. Okay, and 74. Steve will be 30, just 30. Steve will be 30 next birthday. Very good. And what is the grammar here? Caps. That's all right. That's not a problem. Steve will be 30 next birthday. What is the grammar here? Come on, we have two more. Okay, this is will for future. Absolutely, will for future. When you want to say about somebody's birthday, yeah, you use will. Do not forget, because we have lots of other usage for future. Okay, 75. Yeah, the only thing is absolutely correct. This is wishes. I wish I had studied harder at school. Very good. And what is the name of the rule? This is called wishes. How we use wish. And then after wish, if you see I wish I had studied, that's the meaning is that this is second conditional. Conditional 2. Okay, I wish I had studied, because you know, probably you know the very famous song Wish You Were Here. The meaning is wish you were here, and again it will be now. But I wish I had studied, like if you say wish you had been here, then it will be then, not now. You understand? Как бы мне хотелось, чтобы ты был сейчас здесь. Wish you were here now. Как бы мне хотелось, чтобы ты тогда был здесь. Wish you had been here then. Okay? That's the difference. And the last one, please. Well, usually I just want you to be more polite. Would you mind? Would you mind? And after would you mind, we use only gerund or ing, and this is the third level. Would you mind asking them to call me? Very good. Okay, would you mind asking? After mind, we usually use gerund or ing form. Okay, so again, that's the end of the class, and all of my classes are being video recorded, and they are on YouTube. Vladimir Alexandrov Advanced English. If you need private classes, always please find me. This is my email. You are very welcome anytime, and my price is very cheap. It's 300 rubles per hour, per 60 minutes. So also please leave your comments on the news feed in Vkontakte, okay, something like that. Do not forget about that. Yes, Wish You Were Here, that's the not only Pink Floyd's song, but many other singers also. Yeah. How about the test? You want a test? Really? Alright. Yeah, I understand. So the time is up. Please, any other questions, you are very welcome. Very welcome to write me an email, and I will be very happy to answer you. So right now, you know that I hope to see you next Friday, as always, for the lesson free of charge. If no questions, then thank you very much, and bye-bye. Goodbye. Bye-bye.